We're on page... Hey. Interesting. What is the mocker of the whole thing of achokas between a husband and a wife?
We're in the deficit.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Lo tikrav.
Oh, loy tikrav. Yeah, very good. Memes is as it's an older adin derabon. Why did I want to make such a thing, such strong achokas? Why?
Sure.
Because it's not stam. There's a cheshbon here to balance things out. Memes is any woman a person is not allowed to be with is a isu yichud. Chazal made that any woman a person is not allowed to sleep with, he's not allowed to be misyachid with her.
Except for Niddah.
No, not only Niddah. Stam.
All women.
No, except for
So Isha Niddah, because Chazal said that it's mutter for a husband to be with his wife, biyichud v'niddah. So they wanted to balance it out, Chazal, on the other hand, and make certain achokas to balance out that even though they could sleep together in the same bedroom, even though they're allowed to be biyichud, but they wanted to balance it out that they make very strict stuff of achokas, and this way they'll remember that they're not allowed to sleep with each other. A regular woman, I didn't make achokas because it's already murchik. First of all, the person already knows it's a yichud, and then that I don't know. Yeah, I was a Meir Shalom once, and my wife asked me that I should. Well, she picked a couple of things. I should pay the cashier. The cashier was very makpid that the money can go miyad liyad.
It's always, even now.
no, he said Niddah. He didn't say Niddah.
Yeah.
He says no, it shouldn't transfer from her hand to him.
Yeah.
We're not mocking.
Yeah.
You go to a store, she's not allowed to give you. A married lady's not.
on the counter.
They do it in the counter. You don't touch it. But let's say you have $1. And he's like, I think, correct me. Is she allowed to take a piece of merchandise? She's not allowed to take a piece of merchandise and put it in your hand.
No. So the achoka from all of women. Let's
Is
say
it?
like when people wear the shrit, the shechet, he didn't take the
I don't think
chicken
so.
from the women.
Okay, so maybe it's a chumrah.
The daughter give it to him.
Maybe it's a chumrah, but the isser of not handing.
Always they put the money on the counter.
They put the money because they don't want to. I'm telling you why. They don't want negia. They don't want you want to give pain. You touch the hand to hand. That's not why they do it. They did, but let's
There's
say
a chumrah. There's a chumrah yisera.
the chumrah is serious. Some people are not.
The Ishotami, and especially this thing which is Ishotami yad liyad, this thing of Ishota, not to hand something, is really something that's not Stam Chumrah. The Tosfos says that the Rashi never handed the keys to this house to his wife.
We spoke about it last
Right.
year.
And Tosfos has an argument if that's true or not true. In other words, that's what happened. The Rashi did it. But is always gehalten al pidin that it's also to hand something, or we paskin l'chumra that it's also to hand, because that's the way it also sounds in the Gemara in the story of the Tana Demed Leo, that he said maybe he handed you something and through that nogabach. So the way Rashi learns it is if we allow husband and wife to hand things to each other, eventually they'll come to be nogabach. So that's Isa Medina. Another nakuda, interesting nakuda is why is it really that Chazal allowed that a husband and wife should be in the same bedroom if she's a niddah? Usually any woman that it's also to sleep with is Isa Yichud. So there's several reasons that the Rishonim say. Number one is it's too difficult. How can a person live this way? Chazal didn't want to make the life impossible. Life will become impossible.
Instead of 3 bedroom, it's a 4 bedroom.
Exactly. Life will become impossible for Yidden. It'll be very difficult to live that way. Another nakuda is that the Rishonim say that it's different than a regular woman. He can never sleep with her. So the Yitzhahor is very strong. but his wife, he already slept with her once, many times, and he will sleep with her in Mitzvah Hashem many times. How about a woman that he never slept with? She married her. Taka problem with Yichud. Gemara says, if a woman gets married and Pirs Niddah, who Yoshim Beina Anoshim, Hini Yishena Beina Anoshim. If they get married and he didn't get a chance to sleep with her and she already became a Niddah, or unfortunately today there's already a caterer, you can't say, oh, the kala already, so forget it, we're going to push off the wedding for 3-4 days. The wedding is scheduled, the invitations went out, so the wedding goes on. The band comes and the caterer comes, and everyone, if you're not gonna kala and chosin doesn't show up, they're still gonna pay whatever it is for every portion. They paid already, exactly. No, he was on a ton. So we make today a chuppah niddah. Those days they never made a chuppah niddah.
According to the Rambam,
Well, they give the wine, they do things
but what do you do? But they can't sleep biyichud. To be fedish gemara, Chazal say we can't. Oh, so there's all kinds of takonas. So interesting question that the poskim ask: what happens in the opposite case? What happens? He slept with his wife, Baruch Hashem, many times. Very good. A couple of years go by, but now there's an issue. There's an issue. Marshall, she was mezana. She was mezana, so he has to divorce her. He didn't divorce her yet. Didn't get around to it. But it's also for him to sleep with his wife anymore. That's it. He's not allowed to sleep with her. So poskim say, so it's also to be misyachid with her. The whole reason it's mutter to be misyachid with his wife, that's a niddah, because he already slept with her, and he will sleep with her. He slept with her yesterday or a week ago, and he'll sleep with her in another week.
But now he's not going to sleep with her now.
But now that he's not going to sleep with her, it's not also yichud. Tzemach Tzedek has an interesting shaila. What happens if a person, his wife is sick? He can't go to the mikveh. She's in the hospital. She's in the hospital. Doctors say she'll be sick for quite a while. Yeah, Marsov. And she's a Niddah. She already appears on Niddah. Is he allowed to be misyachid with his wife? Because he's not. Again, the whole reason why he's allowed to misyachid with his wife.
In 2 weeks,
because he slept with her 2 weeks ago, and in 2 weeks she'll be mutter, or a week and a week.
But in this case,
doctor says she's going to be sick for another 6 months. And she says she's not going to go to the mikveh. So it's a chashayla. Tzemach says maybe it could be mekel. It's not the same. It's not going to be forever. Also, she could have a refuah. But so Tzemach just points out that this is an interesting shayla. Okay.
Much more from the Gemara that I didn't see it the favorish, but if she's in an oval, if she's in a veilus, that it says that it's not a problem out her that she will not. The Gemara brings down she won't when she's in a veilus, she's not going to want it. It's not a problem in a veilus if she's in a veilus.
Yeah, so
she's
what's
going
not
to
a
want.
problem?
That there might not be.
So therefore, what's mutter? What kind of leniency would you get?
The leniency would be that it would be only if these other things shilas come up. She's a veilus also. Then it would be less of a shilah. She's not going to do it. But maybe you could also say that you can't say it, but it's no plug. But it's not a little bit. But the yichud might not be the same.
Just because she is a veilus, then his time is just as big.
Yeah, but she will not. The Gemara says she won't.
You have to show me the Gemara.
I'll
Another nekuda, which is an interesting nekuda, is that the Tzemach Tzedek brings. The poskim say that in the Inyan of Archoka, a person should be very machmer. A machmer tova lebroche. There's many that in this Inyan it's kedai to be machmer. Why is it kedai to be machmer? It's a very nice word. I'm telling you, b'shem Omra from a chaver, Reb Hillel Heller. In if l'moshel a person has a shayla, is a little tvi according to Yechvez, was this bedika a good bedika? If it's a good bedika, she ends up going a day earlier to the mikveh. It's a bad bedika, I think you have to go to the mikveh a day later. Maybe even it was already middle of the Shiva Nikim and it's already a shayla. So if it's good, she's going to mikveh in 2-3 days. If it's bad, she has to go to mikveh in another week. So what are you going to say to be machmer? You're being machmer someone else's cheshbon. I don't think the husband going to say to he sees that other sitting azoy and he's looking azoy and azoy. He says, I see already it's a shayla. You're shamayim. I want to be machmer.
Go to a road.
I'm talking it off. He sits in the rov, and the rov is already finished a half a pack of cigarettes, still sitting on the mara, looking this way and that way, and the rov didn't have paskin yet. So the husband's going to say, you know what? Never mind. I'm going home. I'm a big Yiddish Shamayim. I buy it glad kosher, v'chulu. Why after that I'm getting sveikas?
By saying no.
So that's not such a big Yiddish Shamayim, because his wife's cheshbon. It's his wife's cheshbon, a private tzitkas, but it's not on him. It's on her cheshbon. It's on her cheshbon. Barchokis, the poskim don't seem to feel that way. Listen, they're also to be together. So what? She wants to be mekel because her friends, it's a little busha, but Rashi didn't hand the keys to his wife. I'll hand my keys to you. No. Hamachmer tov ala bracha.
This thing about in public is different story. You're in a party, in a bit of this.
No, a person has to be very nizar not to. A lot of times people are more ahead of themselves because they think it's not sneers. It's nothing not sneers. We're keeping Torah Hashem Tamima. We're keeping the Eibish's mitzvahs. Was nicht. I was talking about it on Sunday. There is an inyan that the women that's brought that the women are very tzanua that leil tefillah, but that's another thing. It's an inyan of tznius, leil tefillah. Maybe a Adam Rosh will find out when she's. But a person is keeping our chokas. What? It's not. What? So it's verkehrt. Hashem sagt nicht. We keep
it's like you're in the kitchen, a boss or in a hall, or
yeah. It's a Yiddish kitchen. Yeah. So this is the stuff of Shemen. Okay, let's go. I sage es ben aval visha made to move. Isha chnit mas ben agderi is da ben de kasem a woman that became tmeya. From over the Kamashon, maybe many years went by. Memory also Achram from the last year. Asura labayla. Babia, Benegia, Boit Kam in their chokas. Till she goes to the mikveh, she's also Asher Tifsik Betara, until she has a half sektara, but Tisper Betit will continue. Loiga, I shouldn't touch, I feel about Betara, even with the finger. I feel about Godam, Shalai, even her begodam. Befin and Paich Fruris Begader, Shilavush Maser, even to blow off a little bit of the dust on her clothing. Come on, can also Lariach Besamim Shalai, you're not allowed to smell the Besamim. I feel yeah. In those days, besamim was they used to have box, like one would wear a box, and inside there was herbs and stuff, and over there you can make a bracha b'ayim in a besamim. Today, a woman gives a spritz. So first of all, it's a reshen lika, you can make b'ayim besamim. And second of all, it's a lot of these what's called a synthetic. So they're not really, a lot of the poskim today hold that on synthetic stuff you can't make bottom in a psalm. It's not psalm, it's tar. It's not psalm. So it's chemicals, it's not psalm. But it's zilbas a timer. You have to realize, but there's nothing to do over here with bottom in a psalm. It has to do, that has to do with poshet, because if he's going to smell, he'll be attracted to her. So it's also to smell the something that's on her. I feel even if they're on the table in Machadim law, also if it's hers. For example, she has a bottle of perfume. Yeah, keminig normala mention, not French, some goyim, right? Normala mention, we don't put on perfume, right? The women put on perfume. So the perfume that's sitting in your house is miyuchet for her. It's her perfume. So a male person is not allowed to smell it. A woman should try to be miskashet less than, not so much. Less, miskashet less. Lo yistakalbo. I'm just going to go a little quicker now. Maybe we'll be misakev on what's the the gedorim of this, but the while we'll go weiter.
You mean Beilit
yeah.
And also Psalm?
Yeah.
She's going to a chasana. You
right.
can't tell her don't
that's what I want to say. The might discuss it. You have
Shloita Chassan is not going to
that's
Megara you.
that's
She's doing it because she's between women.
what I'm
She
saying.
can,
You have to verstehen mit Seichel. Talking Chazal were talking about a Yid. It's coming home from working in the field, like Abba Chilkiya. You know the story with his wife came out. She was all put up makeup and everything, very nice. So he said, "Yeah, my wife is a tzaddikus. She wants that I should look at her. I shouldn't look at anyone else." Okay. So he comes from the field. So he said that if it's a bimei niddah, she's allowed to, but she should be memayed. But we're not talking today where a woman is going with her husband to chasna. They're going somewhere.
To a simcha, to a
Simcha.
meeting, or whatever.
No, that's not what we're talking about. Okay, that's what I meant. Lo yistak about mekavish shadakalis mechusim is not allowed to look at a place in her goof, which is the derech to be covered. I feel about keva, even her heel, because that's considered erva. There is places in a woman's goof that are erva. It doesn't matter what the American society says. It doesn't matter what's going on in the street. Al pi din, these places in a woman's goof is called erva. That's it. Doesn't matter. It's erva. Doesn't matter. The ganze Welt can stehen auf dem Kopf, and they're all going to be megala this mekoimus. Doesn't matter. Well, Chazal said that's erva. Ava mekoimus shadakali is gluyim. There are mekoimus that the derech is to be golui. Because there's a machlokas about this. The Rambam says that the yoifi of a woman to her husband is 100%. He's allowed to look at her b'mei nidus. All the points can disagree. So l'maisa, a person should try to be nizir. Shmoi kol zimra also. Again, in this opinion also, a person has to know. The Rambam holds it's mutter. You can't be a oibachochem in this. So a person has to know where they're holding in Bechlal in life. That this is in today's generation. What does it mean? Lo yistakel? He's going to a chasna, so he's talking to his wife. Where should be mistakel? In the lavona? Versteht sich? We're not talking about that. It means that if he has a chance, if they want to spend a lot of time together, okay, and he has an opportunity to do it today or to do it in 2-3 days after she come back from the mikveh. Do it 2-3 days after come back from the mikveh. Lo yitzchak v'lo yokor roishimai. He shouldn't have schok and kalos roish. V'lo yedaber imo dvorim hamargilim le'erva. Shouldn't have conversations with her things that bring to erva. We're not talking about things in the house, how much groceries to buy, v'chulu v'chulu. I'm talking about regular stuff. Lo yoshit miyad liyad. He shouldn't hand something from his hand to her hand or the other way around. As we said before, that's what Tosfos brings from Rashi. Tosfos says that was Rashi's hanhoga. Rashi's hanhoga was that he would never hand the keys to the house to his wife, bimei nidusa, until she was toivel. I feel a davar aruch, even if it's something which is very long on page Vav. I feel a davar aruch. As I said, the Rashi Pashtas learns that in the story of this Talmud Echad, the Gemara Shabbos, that Yochanan and Leon, asked that maybe he handed you something. V'nogabeich, and not the pshat. He asked maybe he touched you. He asked maybe you were over on this harchoka, that you're not allowed to be moishitz on the meyad liyad. And Bagav Urcha Leon said that the reason for this harchoka is you shouldn't touch. The other Rishonim, like Tosfos, hold no. It's not osur inherently to hand something over. Elamai, maybe b'shas you did it, which is really mutter, you ended up touching. Elamai said the Shulchan Aruch Paskan Zakrashi, Lo yoshid miyad liyad, not allowed to hand something over. I feel that if it's a long thing, I feel it is exelazeh, even to throw it. Also, rakinichol chayfetz alez amokim, ba'azashini noitli. She put it in a neutral space, on a table, on a coffee table, and the other person will take it. Now, the Poskim Achronim discuss about what if he wants to throw it. Lizrek klape mailav, he poshat is yadam mekabelas. Hamachmir bazet tavoy ola bracha. As I said, you see in these halachas of achokas that the poskim a lot have this inyan of a machmer tova yalav bracha. Again, because here it's not an imposition, and it's also not an imposition on his wife. It's an extra chum. It's a little harder when these things, if you're a little more makbid, but anyway, they're all set to be together. So it's not like kamoikein lo yimseru tinik miyad liyad, and this is really where we left off last time. Agam l'choyre, there's a concept of achai nois as atzmoi.
Not if it can walk. I mean, if
here
it walks. If it doesn't walk, it's not.
Versteht sich. Even in that case. Even in that case. Weiter. Asurim lechel makaida achas. Not allowed to eat from the same place. Why? Because the Gemara says, and it's brought several times in Shas, Kayoytze boy lo yoichel azov im azova mipnei hergel aveda. The Gemara is medamet also to shnei achzanoim, to people that that one person eating bosar and one is eating gevina. That if they know each other, they have to separate, because al pitos, the guy is eating the bosar and the guy eating gevina, they will give each other a piece. I have a good piece of cheese. Why don't you taste it? I have a good piece of meat. Why don't you taste it? And the viola, the oiber and bosar b'cholam. So the Chazal said the kayoytze boy lo yoichel azov and azov im nehergel aveda. So
what happened if there's a middle place for both of them?
This is all the things that we're going to learn now. Basically, the rule of thumb here is azoi, that there has to be a shinui from the derech harogel. If they always eat from one plate, today they eat in two plates. If they always eat from two plates, now they're going to put a davar shel heket, because the Rishonim all learn it from a davar alomid menyonai, lagabe shnech sanoim, that makinim zeh, that we say that they can put a heket. So a heket has to be something that's usually not on the table. Usually it's not between them. And today it's between them. So now that's a heket to show. So, asurim lechel mikora achas. Oy sakit achas. Stam, it's a shaila that I really want to look at. See what maybe I can talk about it. Stam, it's a, we say that if they always eat from one plate, today it's two plates. If they always eat two plates, so today it has to be even more. How about a certain meichel? Potato chips. If they're going to buy potato chips, they're going to eat it in one bag, open a bag, and they'll share potato chips. But now it's meni dusa. Is it good enough that that instead of one kaida, there should be two kaidas? In other words, instead of one bag, it'll be two bags, or instead of eating one bag,
she has a bag, he has a bag, it's not part of it.
Yeah.
The problem is when you have one big
Right,
bag,
one bag, he'll put it on the table,
you
or
travel somewhere and you put that.
or you still need a heker, Usually today, bisman hazeh, most people are not eating with their wife on the same plate. Well, that's it. I mean, but you're saying derech harogel.
What if you put it, let's say, in the middle, and then she takes there, he takes here?
Like I
Right.
said,
Don't forget, the person have a problem with that. The person have a big problem with
when you
that.
travel in a car, you have like a big potato. chips.
Right.
She here, you here.
Right, so that's my shaila. So I don't know. The poskim have a whole this talk about this, that the shach and taz both bring that there used to be that people used to eat with the whole from the big plate and this is the families also eating. So what's the zoy geferlach? And they have a whole thing that the kehilas got together and they made a chedim against it. We see that the Eden were very nizir in this thing in Achokas. Asurim lechel, so I'm not sure. Asurim lechel mikora achas or sakit achas kayoytze bazam. I feel like she'echad noitel chaticha achar shenotel hasheni. If there's one kaida, even one takes a piece and then the other one takes a piece from the kaida. It's also to eat from one kaida. But if it's something that there's a serving plate, and the derech is that there's a big serving plate, and then people take it off the big plate and put it on the small plate in front of them, that's mutter.
Like Shabbos table. You put a spread of salads, fish.
A lot of people do Shabbos table. They're not going to make a plate for every person. Put a big plate of chicken and rice, hummus on the table. So that's fine.
That's okay.
So then she could take and he could
And
take.
they
and-
could take, it's not a problem, but they have to put it on their plates.
Right.
They have to put it on their
They
plates.
can't eat from that plate, but they have to take from that plate and put it in your plate and eat.
Right.
That's the
They
idea.
have to take it out of that plate and put it on their own plate. Not directly take it from that plate and put it in their mouth.
Right.
On the plate, put it on his plate.
Otherwise, it's called kerachas.
Otherwise, they're eating from Kora Achas. Lo yichlim al shulchan echad. Elim ken yaser heker b'neim. Again, he's just a kitzer. He's not going into a... Today, Lepoil, who eats with his wife Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos from one plate? So Mela, you have to make a heker. So what should they do? Any Michael that they're not using now to eat from it. Or Yanichel by name is a dove gavoyeksa. Train Dr. Leah's camera. You can put a camera like between them. Leah's al shulchan can backbook
Bottle.
a bottle if the derech is that he usually doesn't put on the table. Omazog Shabbos table. He usually likes a fancy on the Shabbos table. It says pitchers. He brings out pitchers with water. So, but Bimei do so. He brings out also another bottle and he puts it as a between. That's not the regular thing. Usually they don't have it. So it's different. A koise, shtia, koyotze, the extra kois. He's not using it. She's not using it. Puts in between them. Choshev heker. Because usually it's not there.
Put it as a simon. Anyone, as soon as if you put something specially out which isn't usually there, the nature you're going to say, what's this thing there over there? And that's
Right.
going to remind you. That's
Right?
the
Exactly.
logic. That's the story.
Exactly. Or each one has another mappa. Can be made terasa. Again, it has to be that this is not what they always do. They always like fancy. He eats supper and she eats supper, and she has, like some people like to do it by supper, they have mats, right?
Placement.
Yeah. So if they're always doing it, that's not called a heker. That's not called a heker. Has to be that usually they don't do it, and now they're doing it. Oh, that's called a heker. So it's a shaila if that's a heker, but no, again, shein's a heker. Our minig is that we are machma, that's not considered a heker. Okay. Lo yishta mishiure kois shaloi. He shouldn't drink the leftovers from her kois. Because it says, that the zov shouldn't eat with the zova. What does it mean the zov shouldn't eat with the zova? And what's with the zova and the zov? We say it's not that way. Men are different than women. Men are different than women. If she's going to eat a little bit of his shirayim, whatever, it doesn't mean if he's going to start eating a little bit of her shirayim, we're scared that he's going to start feeling a chiba, and one thing will lead to the next. That's the diuk that the Rishonim have. It's also for the zav with the zava.
Not the zova.
The zav with the zava habich nishmayra. She can eat his shirayim, but he can't eat her shirayim. Not than just an akuda. When Chazal say yochel azav im azava, it doesn't mean that he has to be a zav, even if he's not a zav. But it's just a chiddush in those days when they kept the Hilchos Tumah V'Tahara. So the Mishnah is bringing out something in a very stark way, even though he says so we're both Tommy is Tommy.
No.
So because there's the Isur component here, not mitzvah the Tumah. There's the Isur here. That's why the Mishnah. I'm just explaining it over Pashat. Why does the Mishnah say Kayoytze Bo Lo Yochel Hazov im Azov? And if he's not Azov, he's still not allowed to eat im Azov. But Chazal wanted to bring out a point. They kept the Hilchos Tumah V'Tahara. I'm Tameh, she's Tameh. What's the difference? We say, no, but besides the Tumah, there's Isur. Okay. He shouldn't drink what is left in her kois, and shouldn't eat the shiurim of her Michael. Because it's the same thing. That's the bottom line. The poskim holds the same thing. Elo, beam, shosa odem echer b'neim mutalishas hashirayim. If someone else Let's say she drank, and then her daughter drank, or her son drank. So then the husband could drink the rest. Or Hura Kamashke Mekoiz Ela Koiz Acher. The mashke was poured from one cup to the other cup. As we say, there's nothing inherently wrong. It's just mitzadachiba that it's her kois. So it was poured into another kois. Oh, kashin good genog. That's it. Afilu huchzer lekois sarishin. Poured it back. Machnashto is still mutter. Yotza macheder. She went out of the cheder. She was with him in the room, and now she walked out. He's allowed to drink the shirayim, but not everyone agrees with that. He didn't know that she drank from this kois. He didn't notice. She doesn't have to tell him anything, because he doesn't know. It's not like inherently the whole.
If he
doesn't know, there won't be any chiba. Shasa kola kois, v'chozer milo mute. If she drank up the whole kois, now it's mute. Afa pishalo hidichu, because then we say it's not. The chiba is only if there's a shiurim from her drink or from her food. Whatever is mute by a kois, mute by maichel. If she has food in her plate, and she's not going to finish eating, so she says to her husband, "Why don't you finish the stuff on my plate?" So he has to take it from her plate onto his plate. Once already went from her plate to his plate. Shine. That's already. We don't say chiba. The chiba we say lo kayotze lo yochel azov mazov nehergal avela is only if he eats out of her plate and drinks out of her cup. But once already the hura kamaychel or amishte mekli lekli, that's less lambot. That's not a problem.
If someone eats in between also.
Or if someone eats between. He muteres lishtes lechem ashiroim shaloi. She is allowed to eat from his shirayim. She's allowed to eat from his shirayim. Why? Because by him we're choishish. Like I said, the Rishonim and Medayik and the Gemara lo yochel azov im azova. But the zova she could eat. She's not a problem. Okay, now we're going to go. We'll leave the rest for next week. Going into the three special malachas that Aisha does for her husband. The Chazal were keveya. Somebody did gesagt. The Chazal were keveya that even if a woman, if a husband is rich, he has to buy a maid. Shiksas will help from the shtum. If he's richer, 2 shiksas, 3 shiksas, 4 shiksas. So the Gemara says in Ksubas, up to 4 shiksas he has to buy. Okay. Noch 4 darf she nicht. Was schon da? They're taking care of everything. Chazal said that 3 malachas a woman must do for her husband. Rashi says it's not a chiv gomer. It's not precise. The Chazal said an eitzah toiva to benois Yisrael. That's what Rashi says there in Ksuvas. They said so the shiksa does everything. She does the laundry and she bakes and she cooks and okay, they say that's nothing. That's shlak job. That's avdus. Avdus ani noisim lechem. That doesn't make any chiba. But there's 3 things the Chazal said that makes a chiba. It makes a feeling, a sweetness, a closeness. And these 3 malachas, the Chazal advised the Yiddish woman she should not let anyone do it, only her. This way, the husband will have chiba towards her. And the 3 things are mezigas hakois, which we'll talk about next week.
To do what? What?
To mix the water and the wine.
Oh, water and wine.
It's a special thing. It's a the Gemara says in the Dorim, when the Rava wanted to be Matthias as Rebbe Yosef, and he went, and the Mamala Yom Kippurim, he said, "Can I?" And Rabbi Yosef didn't even see him, and he poured up the wine and the water, and he said, Chavivi, he said that this is my Talmid Rava. Before he even looked up, he said, I could taste from the proportion of the water and the wine that this is my dear Talmud. Like that, whatever. And then he has Mephiasim, he has Mechila, but then we see there's a special Inyan. So Mezigas HaKois, the woman should do for her husband, and Atzos Amita, and Rechitas Ponav Yodav. So these 3 things, the special things, so that the Chazal were koiveya, that Benois Yisrael do for their husbands, in order to have chiba between the woman and the husband.
Last one was
So therefore, Chazal said, but Bazoi, the Chazal said, in the days that are in the Shas Niddah until she's going to the mikveh, it's also taka to do these three things. So the Prata Dvorim Mitzvah will do next week.
The last one we're not. The last one for
Which one? First.
the Raglav, Panav Raglav.
Yeah.
We're not the oilam is for anyone
Your wife doesn't do for you?
wash my face, not recently. I went to the mikveh, she wasn't there. I mean,
And Atzos Amita?
yeah.
I don't see, but Atzos Amita Bizman Hazeh should be.
Bizman Hazeh, yeah, I
The
don't
Shonim says a difference. Atzos, according to Ksosis.
But the pouring, we're mocked on the pouring of the wine. You learn on Niddah, you shouldn't pour. They
No, because that's all, because it's a din. But
That's
it's
a
not
din.
like
Pouring-
today in society.
No, but they
That,
say.
but any din that's
we
a
don't
shas,
pour.
it's a polapoil, it's a din that's brought in shas. It doesn't matter that society changed it. Shas,
I said today nowadays it's so Rahman. They sitting together. They went out already for dinner. They sit in the restaurant together. She's with his phone, with her phone. He's with his phone. He gets a cause. Is
no, nothing.
Same place,
They're two
nothing.
planets. They're sitting next to each
They're
other.
in the
and
same
two
room,
planets.
but they're in different floor.
Unbelievable.
So the three things are
Yeah.
So what, can you say it in English, the three things? The first thing
The first thing is that she pours the wine, or as was like.
She was about wine and water.
It's a special thing because it's a special thing. In the days of Chazal and Bavel, if you drank wine without water, you're not even Yotzei Dal Kaises.
And they were always drinking
You
wine.
must be moizik.
They were always drinking wine.
well, it's just strong.
It was very strong.
Yeah, that's the whole chashivas of the apokaisis, is the alcoholic content.
Must be poured with water, otherwise it's not derechedus. It's not that those days. They didn't have like today. We could control the alcohol to 12%, 14.5%. Wine could easily be 30% alcohol, and it didn't have a good time. So it was a kunst to pour the right amount of water, the right amount of wine.
So what would
Second thing was to do the sheets for her husband, to put the sheets, to do the bedding. And the third is to wash his hands, his feet, and his hands, his face, his hands, and his legs.
That's like what a slave does to a master.
No. In those days, that was not. It was, first of all, it doesn't mean, as we'll learn about it next week, doesn't mean that she goes with a shmata and starts wiping his face and his hands. And we didn't have a sink, right? So to cleanse, so someone was pouring the water for you. Someone was holding a keli and pouring the water. So the Vaila, you go like this, and you wash, and also for their feet, they come in, they wear sandals, so they have to dust on the feet. So someone was standing with the pour water, and then the rest of the water runs on you, washed your face. So that was an inyan shel chashivus and chiba. It wasn't stam. That wasn't considered a shlag job. A woman had four slaves working for her, but still, this was considered like a special inyan shel chiba between husband and wife.
I found the Gemara, but okay.
Oh, the Bailiff's